ultra-low emission zones in London. If you haven't heard, London's being turned into an ultra-low emission zone, which is a direct attack on workers by fining people for driving. So we're seeing our first glimpses of the mobile cameras being sent around to London to catch people driving to work, driving to school, taking care of their families, etc., etc. This is absolutely horrid. So we see the same camera strapped to the top of this car that we've been seeing put up in the hundreds. Over 1,000 of these cameras have been installed around London, and now they're actually driving these cameras around. We also noted a trend where they're threatening to put hidden cameras on the streets of London to catch people driving to work. And the way they did this is so annoying too. They put these cameras out and announced their evil fascist policy. Then these Brits stood up and they tore the cameras down. And then the government came out and they said, well, now we have to hide them. And we have to drive them around and make them mobile. So now we're at the stage where we have the hidden social cameras. The mobile social cameras being driven around. They might not even need to hire a police officer for that. And we're just around the corner, it seems, from automated cars. Driverless cars. Self-autonomous. So maybe they're trying to get this in strategically before that rolls out, to normalize this. So they're rolling this out at a very strategic time. Right before the driverless car revolution. Getting their foot in the door. But we're finding ourselves in a place where we have these social credit cameras being driven around and hidden around. And the government actually used the predictable backlash from patriots who actually care about freedom and privacy and rights and stopping government abuse. They used the predictable backlash to implement this horrid system. To fine them £100 if they're driving a truck, £90 every day if they're driving a diesel car, or £12.50 if they're driving a standard car. This is disgusting. Hidden cameras, mobile cameras, permanent cameras, and we see here on the back of the truck it says ANPR, Cameras in Operation, Transport for London. Now from what I can tell, ANPR has something to do with highly accurate license plate recognition technology. Capture every license plate. This is so Orwellian. So it looks like the mobile cameras have been sent on the streets of London. This is a scary moment in history. The climate cultists are shutting down driving in London for the middle and poor classes. Huge fines levied if one of their hidden cameras or one of their mobile cameras catches you driving around. Massive fines every day. This is a bleak time. The climate cultists are using the excuse of the greater good to get their way, to weaponize the government for their own power, their own selfish ends, all while masquerading as humanitarians and environmentalists. But we know ultra-low emission zone is just a scheme. They call it a scheme themselves. It's a scheme to use the excuse of the weather to reduce consumption and increase enslavement. The only question left